because in that 0.4%, New Yorkers find a way.
If you want to be here, you're welcome to be here. If you don't want to be here, that's totally understandable.
Just went to go get my hair cut.
Folks, there, now I can't be accused of copying Curtis Connor. You know, Curtis Connor has a trademark on the word folks. Really? Well, are you his lawyer? Yeah, I'm Curtis Connor, all right. Curtis Connor if he was on fucking Juice. And not sponsored, by the way. My hair's out of control. And it was either this or a cowboy hat. But anyway, speaking of folks, there's a lot of folks out here who appear to be in their mid-20s, yet are moving as if it's their first day on Earth. And I can relate to that. I am, after all, a 26-year-old teenager. And I am therefore incredibly sympathetic to the problems that Zoomers face around the world. Both problems large and small. There are no jobs. The planet is burning. There is no hope. Your little brother spends all day in his room gooning to clavicular and reading about Hitler. But also, why is it so hard to do taxes? You know? Why is it so expensive to DoorDash a burrito? I should be able to get a human being to hand deliver me a burrito for less money. I get all that. And you know, if you're a regular Joe or Jane, you have all the right in the world to complain about whatever you want to complain about. The problem is, the minute you become a TikToker, influencer, content creator, you forfeit that right. And I'm telling you that for your own good because of two things. One, your job makes you one of the least sympathetic people on earth. And two, because there is a brainworm that infects anybody who consistently uploads on TikTok, where you just lose all sense of the realities of basic existence and how life works for normal people. And these brainworms infect all influencers. If you're lucky, it'll only strike once in your career. But if you're James Charles, you've been letting the brainworms take the wheel for like 6 years running at this point. So just don't do it. Don't go on TikTok and complain. Rule of thumb, don't express any emotion besides positivity. And if you must do it, if there's something really grinding your gears, go out and get 5 neutral opinions about whether or not you're about to seem really out of touch. Because chances are, that's what's about to happen.
This bitch, you lost your fucking job? Oh!
A prime example of this is the influencer who's taking their first trip on the New York City subway. A trope that is frankly overplayed at this point.
Every time I get off the subway, I feel like I should get a I survived the subway t-shirt.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna get one. Best I can do, in fact, is a comment section full of about 1,000 people telling you that you're out of touch and telling you to get the fuck out of their city.
Why am I having anxiety? I don't know how I managed to squeeze on here, but this was a literal hazard.
A literal hazard? That's not even that many people, frankly, for rush hour. I mean, I've been on subway cars where I've gone an intimate smell tour of, like, a construction worker's neck before. It's part of the charm, okay? It's, you know, it's like being like, I was on public transportation and the public was there being transported. And this is what I'm saying. You can be from the suburbs of wherever, and this is your first time taking public transit, and, you know, it's overwhelming or whatever. That's fine. And you can complain about how it was dirtier than you thought, or more crowded than you thought, or whatever, to your friends and your family. But you're going on the internet to express that what 6 million people take to get to work every day is unbearable, which it's obviously not. And even if you're not saying it's yucky, even if you're just bewildered by it, I get it. I love going to a new city, figuring out the public transportation system. It's exciting. But some of these are coming across less like, oh, let's see, you know, how New Yorkers get around this amazing and historic city. And more like, let's take a look at how the Oompa Loompas move on the Oompa train.
I'm about to take the subway for the very first time, and I'm taking you guys with me because I'm nervous. I'm currently in Chelsea, and we need to get to Chinatown because I'm going to go get my hair blown out. We'll see how this goes. Okay, it says I need to go on the A, C, or E train. I think I need to be on this side, not this side. But how do I get to the other side?
Okay, you see, the vibes are horrendous. Why are we making all these faces? It's a train that takes you where you want to go.
We made it to Canal Street. Now let's see if I actually am where I am wanting to be. I refused to sit on the seats because I didn't want my ass to get a rash.
Yes, you did it. You did something that is done 2.3 billion times a year. And again, completely unnecessary comment. I didn't want to sit on the chair because I didn't want to get a rash on my ass. What? I'm sorry, were you planning to rub your bare ass all over the seat? Because they don't do that in New York. They do that in Berlin.
am a little freaked out that I'm like the only one walking around here right now, safety-wise.
Okay, and again, I'm not invalidating any concerns over safety she may have. I'm not a woman. I'm not saying any of that is invalid. But it's just the way you're saying it. Also, it's broad daylight and you're in Soho. And also, you're not alone. I saw 3 people walking around in the background of this video.
Never been so happy to see daylight. You guys, we did it. We did it. Now I'm just a 4-minute walk to Blue Bottle, which is right next to the place that I like to get my hair blowouts in Chinatown. I feel accomplished today. That was a big thing, okay? Come back for more subway rides.
And that's the whole TikTok, by the way. 2-minute long TikTok to show off the perilous, treacherous journey of a 4-minute 3-stop subway ride from Chelsea to Canal Street. And this influencer, by the way, Gracie Abercrombie, a West Palm Beach influencer, which if you know anything about West Palm, that tracks. And this TikTok is part of a week-long series she's doing about visiting New York City and seeing if she wants to move there. And also this video is captioned Exposure Therapy 101. Again, the exposure in question being to the largest public transportation system in the United States, and I guess being exposed to the poors who ride it. And she still hasn't even moved there yet, and yet her bio says NYC in it already, which also tracks. Oh, that city that's in my Instagram bio, that's just a place I visited for a week. And on the off chance that you aren't dead set on moving yet, Gracie, I encourage you to reconsider. Even if you have a bottomless pit of money to spend on Ubers and never have to take the subway once in your life, there is just no way to insulate yourself from poverty and different kinds of people and different groups of people in a city like New York, to the degree that you have it in West Palm Beach, where the greatest adversity you'll face is like a line at the Starbucks drive-thru. And you just don't have the vibe of someone that really is trying to expand your horizons. I think that's fair.
Exposure therapy.
No shade, no shade. I might be wrong, but I'm not. So I'm gonna put this down as not infuriating, just kind of embarrassing. And I've got 3 more case studies here to look at, and we're gonna go through, and you tell me, is this infuriating or is it embarrassing? Infuriating or embarrassing, that's the game. Next up, we have an influencer who has never seen a grocery store before.
Sam's Club canceled our order 3 different times, so we are in this teeny tiny little town in the mountains, and we're gonna try and hopefully get all of our groceries for the next 4 days. This is so small town vibes, it's not even funny.
Okay. So here's the background on this one. This is influencer Catherine Ebbs, who grew up in Minnesota, by the way, moved to New York City 6 months ago. Notable background on Catherine here. She doesn't take the subway because her husband, who's a day trading probation officer, refuses to do so. And also she was recently in the news for calling for the National Guard to come in during the Knicks win. Did I cherry pick pieces of information about her life that make her seem contemptible? Yes. But here she is in the Catskills in rural New York, and she's doing her own grocery shopping because Sam's Club delivery canceled on her. Here we go.
I have a feeling this is not gonna be good news. We don't even have a cart? This is a simulation.
I mean, did you look for a cart though? This is a simulation. Where are the carts? I don't know, I can pull up actually a picture of this grocery store from Google Maps. But even without that, I'm pretty sure the carts are by the door because that's where they are in every grocery store on Earth. This is a simulation.
This is a simulation. I'm just sitting here laughing. Their fruit does not look good. Like all their fruit looks bad.
Again, she might not even be lying, but her energy is just so horrendous just in the first 50 seconds of this video that I'm just assuming you're just a freak. Also, that watermelon looks better than you deserve.
Guys, this is not good. At this point, I'm just grabbing shit. I'm like, low-key, we should just order out, because this is crazy.
I don't know, is this rage bait? Like, she's finding everything she wants, but she's not satisfied. You just picked up Sun Chips. Are there artisanal boutique Sun Chips out there that I'm unaware of? She's not from LA. She wasn't born into obscene wealth, but she's doing this like weird snooty cosplay. And again, not like she's used to grocery shopping at Erewhon. It was a Sam's Club delivery that was canceled. And by the way, if you're an able-bodied person who gets their groceries delivered, I don't trust you. Unless you're living some crazy work-life balance where you don't even get a second to breathe, there is no reason you cannot go to the grocery store and get your own groceries. And also, in her case, for someone who has such opinions on produce and sun chip quality, how can she even trust anyone to pick her own groceries for her? Like, I would assume this is a person who really needs to pick their own grapes.
I don't see any 100% beef. This is absolutely insane.
So this may actually be a example of the literacy crisis. Because even in this low quality ass video, I'm so big back and my ball knowledge of beef franks is so legit that I can tell you there's multiple 100% beef options in this frame. That entire bottom row of Nathan's is 100% beef. The ballparks are 100% beef. I am not kidding. We may just have a case of TikTok-induced illiteracy. She even left this comment in response to somebody who was saying she seems out of touch. I love any grocery. If you see my page, I frequent groceries often because I love them so much. What I don't love is groceries on holiday weekend when they're packed and a small amount of options at the very last and unexpected second. Well, I too frequent groceries often because I love them so much.
I feel like I'm in a simulation right now.
Anyway, the mocking of this video was brutal and fast. Every skit creator in the Western Hemisphere has been eating off this. Eating 100% beef franks off this.
My butler's sick and refuses to pick up my grocery orders, so now I have to go to a disgusting grocery store all by myself.
Yeah, that's tough. And you know, so much backlash. I mean, there was news stories, the grocery store themselves responded. If Ellen was still on air, she would have came out and done a moment of silence. And so, as always, the ukulele had to come out.
I do want to say the bullying that's come from this has been so unbelievably eye-opening. I have seen people online get ripped to shreds before, but to personally experience it, whoa. I don't condone the bullying. I don't condone a lot of the things that have been said and done. I wish the people that took this moment for their own virality, if they meant to make such an impact and they wanted to make such an impact, I wish they would have been like, hey, let's use her name for the clout, but let's use it for impact. And the impact is every single person does deserve fresh produce. And
what? I apologize. This is the rare reverse ukulele. The Uno reverse apology where actually everybody else has to apologize to her. Good people of TikTok, I hear your anger, and I demand an apology. Yes, 100%. I was actually saying this. Everybody out here who's making fun of Catherine on TikTok, really, you should be out there solving global food insecurity instead. And listen, Catherine, I know you're only 29, and you have to be 35 to run for president, but you should do it. You have a once-in-a-generation, unparalleled ability to dodge and deflect accountability, and you need to put it to work. Oh, you don't like me shitting on this completely normal grocery store? Well, then you must support children going hungry. Well played. So hilariously stupid, I'm not even angry. So on the spectrum between infuriating and embarrassing, this is just fucking embarrassing. Stop LARPing as Minnesota Khloe Kardashian. I know you have to play up the drama for views, but you flew too close to the sun. And the sun in this analogy is apparently the produce aisle. So whatever, I'm sure you'll land on your feet. Who's next in the courtroom?
Just went to go get my hair cut. My hair's not cut.
Okay, now this has to be the strongest opening pitch for a TikTok I've ever seen. I'm invested. You're in literal tears in your car. I went to get my hair cut and my hair's not cut. And this is TikToker / Twitch streamer Cruel Rice. And let's hear Cruel Rice out.
My hair's not cut, and I will be writing a 1-star review for this place. Thank you very much. I love LA.
All right, so now we're in Los Angeles, New York and Los Angeles, where, again, TikTokers go to experience their first day on Earth. Let's get the full explanation here.
And also, it's not a quick explanation, and most of you are going to hear the first part and be like, you're the problem, and then they're going to leave.
Correct. She's actually correct. That is exactly what happened. Good job, Nostradamus. You are, in fact, the problem. Hey, guys, I'm about to tell you a story in which I'm completely unsympathetic, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. Here it is. Fair play, Mrs. Rice. And this TikTok is like 7 minutes long, so I'm going to give you a bit of the spark notes here. She made an appointment at a new hair salon in LA that she hasn't been before, and now we jump to the day of.
The day of the appointment comes around, and I get in my car, I put in the place, and it says 11:04 is my ETA. My appointment was at 11.
Okay, so she's already 4 minutes late. Just to establish that, if everything goes according to plan, she's 4 minutes late. And if you're sitting at home right now going, who gives a shit? Why are we counting minutes? This is so stupid. All right. Hey, it matters. I mean, it doesn't really matter at all. But, you know, we're going back to basics today. How to read a hot dog label. How to tell time. It's a fun day. Relax.
Before I get on the highway, essentially, I was stuck at the light for 5 light cycles. I'm not even kidding. And I did not move maybe a car's length. And my ETA went up to 11:10. And like, what the fuck am I gonna do in that situation? Be an asshole and cut in front of everyone else like everyone else is doing and then sit in the intersection and get honked at?
I have to say, the elite mental gymnastics logic that we're seeing today to avoid any kind of personal accountability for your actions is truly beautiful. So I'm running late to my appointment. What do you expect me to do? Get out of my car, start shooting people? Get on the shoulder, run over a bunch of orphans? Is that what you expect me to do? If you're mad at me for being late in this story that I'm telling to you, really what you're saying is you want me to kill, you're pro killing orphans. Like, no one's saying that, okay? Maybe just leave your house 10 minutes ahead of time is all people would want to say. And so far the excuses here, by the way, are I was already gonna be late, which is your fault. Traffic lights exist, okay. And I'm assuming since this story is being told in LA, she's about to get on the highway and there's about to be traffic, isn't there? I mean, I already watched these videos, so I know that's what's gonna happen, but I would have known that that was about to happen even if I didn't watch the video.
So am I gonna get there? I have to go on the highway. And of course, there's also highway closures.
I might be Nostradamus too.
I wish I had gotten in my car a few minutes earlier if I knew that was gonna be the case. I thought I had enough time. Anyways, she's like, well, we have the 15-minute grace period and I have another client at 12:30.
So the hairstylist is telling her about a 15-minute grace period over the phone, which is, by the way, the most standard universal law in anywhere in the world. 15-minute grace period, guaranteed. And she's basically talking to her on the phone and soft giving her the option to reschedule if she's not going to make it. And then she learns that the salon is in a mall, and Cruel Rice didn't know that.
And she's just like explaining it to me, and then she says that they're in a mall. And I didn't know they were in a mall.
So again, you have Google Maps up where you're seeing your ETA going up, but you don't know where it's taking you. Again, first day on earth. Just truly, like, the northern lights will guide me. Let Jesus take the ways. I don't think I've ever gone anywhere in my adult life without knowing vaguely where I'm going, especially in LA. It's not the suburbs. Like, you have to be kind of aware of the parking situation, at least where you're going, because more often than not, it's gonna be a nightmare or expensive or both.
I park my car in the parking garage. I run in heels.
Well, I mean, that's your fault. I mean, that's your fault. Does your hairstylist demand all her clients wear platform heels to get an appointment? And again, there's all these excuses, right? But all of them are self-inflicted. Like, none of this is anybody else's fault but your own.
And I'm sick, okay?
Okay, well now I think you're kind of an asshole too. I was late, I was in heels, everything was going wrong. Also, I was coming straight off of the hantavirus ship. I was trying to get to my new hairstylist because I wanted to infect her with hantavirus, and you should feel bad for me. Everyone's only gonna listen to the first part of the story and then judge me. You mean the part of the story where you were obviously late to your appointment and also tried to kill your hairstylist?
And I call her again when I get out into the mall. It's a stupid fucking outdoor mall with businesses all over the place, ups and downs, turns and everything.
Oh, dude, it was one of those stupid ass malls, bro, that has like stores and shit.
At the latest, it was 11:16 that I was in her chair. At the very fucking latest, okay?
Yeah, well, 16's more than 15.
And so she sits me down in her chair, offers me water.
Oh, and she offered you water too? What an evil, underhanded thing to do.
Brushes my hair, asks me what I want. I show her the inspo picture. The vibes are like, and like, just not great customer service, right? And then she's like, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think I can cut your hair in an hour 15. And then she says that like she doesn't want to rush it and like do a bad job, which is fair. And then she's like, and that's not fair to my other client at 12:30.
Not great customer service? Like what, specifically? You were late, she didn't want to do a hack job because she's an honorable stylist. Case closed, right?
I come from Wisconsin. Maybe things are just different here in California, which is why I said I love LA, because this would only fucking happen in a city like LA. In Wisconsin, like I said, my mom is late to everything. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's like it should be this way, but I swear to God, people are late for hair appointments all the fucking time, or even if they're on time, sometimes it goes over, and the next person just sits there and waits for a few minutes, and it's like not a fucking big deal, right? And so she says, I'm gonna have you come back tomorrow.
You know, I'm actually gonna be super charitable here, more than other people have been, because I actually do agree that this hairstylist probably could have made it work. If she really wanted to, she could have slightly inconvenienced her next appointment and squeezed this girl in. But my assumption is that her vibe is just so horrendous, again, even in person, that the hairstylist felt really no drive to do so. And that's completely justifiable. It's not even like she's a regular there. That was her first appointment. So anyway, this video goes on, you know, she ruined her day, she's never going back, that's why she started crying, and then she left a 1-star review.
And then I left a review, and they responded and then deleted it. And fuck that hair salon. I think that that lady needs to work on her customer service. And also, like, you ruined my fucking day off, and I wish I didn't let you, but you did. So fuck you, Strand of Soul in Pasadena. Weird as fuck that you deleted the response to my review too.
Guys, anyone in Pasadena, go check out Strand of Soul. Shout out to them. Just make sure that, you know, you are able to read a clock if you make an appointment there. And despite what she said too, they left her 1-star review up. And it is pure cinema. New reaction meme just dropped. And doing the TikTok with you crying, with the crying review, trying to ruin these people's business, with your whole story arc where you're clearly in the wrong. It's not infuriating. It's just embarrassing. You're a crybaby, Cruel Rice. You had time to film a fit check, apparently, but not enough time to get to your appointment. And you thought everybody would side with you and brigade this small business instead. And also, by the way, the stylist also released a response video, and it is brutal.
I genuinely feel very bad for her. Anyone that feels comfortable crying on the internet or posting a bad Google review of them crying, I really feel like there's a deeper issue there. You know, I truly do wish her the best.
Damn. She said, I hope you get the help you need. She said what you wanted was a hair appointment, but what you need is a therapy appointment. Just, you know, maybe do it on Zoom, you know, so, you know, there's no traffic involved. Anyway, can't get more insufferable than that.
Over a month ago, my roommate informed me she didn't want to re-sign with me for very stupid reasons.
And just like that, we're back. So we're back in New York City, and this may be indicative of something that every single situation in this video regards somebody who moved to New York or LA within the last 6 months. It's interesting, there's a lot of complaining about the kinds of people in these cities, and yet all the most insufferable people appear to be those who just moved there. Fascinating. I sat on this one too. I saw this video when it had like 10,000 views, and I waited it out because I knew where this was going. 6.7 million views on TikTok now, probably more on Instagram, and it's blossomed into like a 30-part series. And this is Cozy Grocery, who makes a living selling handmade keychains of some sort on Etsy. And we love art. We love artists. I'm on her side right out of the gate. Am I gonna stay on her side? No spoilers, but at a baseline, I'm rooting for her. But let's start from the very beginning here. This first part of like my roommate doesn't want to re-sign this lease with me for stupid reasons, that's part of life. Like, your roommate doesn't have to give you any reason, frankly, for not wanting to re-sign a lease. They don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. And like 27 out of her 30-part series here is her complaining about benign shit with her roommate. Arguments over dish trays and like sharing food or some shit. It's all irrelevant. And what's important to highlight is Emily, aka Cozy Grocery, was just subletting for a month. She was a subletter. She'd only been roommates with this other girl for 1 month who doesn't want to re-sign this lease, but is letting Emily stay in the apartment if she wants to continue leasing it with another roommate. But Emily doesn't have the income to support the apartment on her own and hasn't found a roommate yet, and so she has to move out. And that brings us to this.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may try to ask the landlord to just let me pay the entire month of July's rent to buy me time to find someone. I can try to rush and find a new roommate. I don't know, dude. This has been agonizing. I've moved so many times the last year of living in New York. I'm on my 5th sublet now. And I know the life that I signed up for by being a full-time artist in New York City. Mamdani gave a speech after the Knicks won. And I don't have like all of the words memorized, but he was like, what is New York if not your back is up against the wall, your dream just out of reach?
All right, you're losing me. This is the life of a full-time artist in New York, something Zohran Mamdani. Ma'am, Zoran Mamdani does not give a that you have to go find a new sublet. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I know it sucks, I know it's annoying, but you know, you knew this a month in advance that you were gonna have to go find a new place to live if you weren't able to continue renting from this situation.
And looking at those 99.6% odds that are against you and smiling because in that 0.4% New Yorkers find a way.
Oh, it's tough. It's tough to watch, guys. The adversity, the underdog story. I knew I was a real New Yorker when I was tested in the crucible of having to go find a new sublet or a new roommate, I guess. Again, we can jump around here. 30-part series on one of the most common annoyances you face as a young person, which is having to find housing. And it's so apparent, even with no one else's POV, that she's not a victim here.
That's sus. Maybe she is still looking for a roommate to fill my room here. She wanted to talk in person. I said no. I'm not comfortable with that, and I have every right to say no. I watched her try to bait me by sending this text being like, so do you have a problem with me? I'm not falling for that shit. I have a narcissistic dad who I am now no contact with, and a narcissistic ex. I'm not stupid. And so I rediverted.
Yeah, f you, roommate, for trying to have an adult conversation about the timeline of her move out. For the third time in a row, it just comes down to vibe and energy, and the vibes are so off. And I know that's not a scientific way to judge a situation, but it is effective. I can tell through the screen that she is the nightmare roommate to deal with, and I have zero sympathy for landlords. But it's clear that she thinks that because she was approved as a subletter, that she thinks that she should also be approved to rent the whole apartment, even though she doesn't have the income to do so. Again, her income, which is derived solely from this Etsy shop. And that sucks, but it's not like anything has been done to you by anybody, by the landlord or your roommate. It just is what it is. But no, she started a GoFundMe to raise money so that way she could essentially just continue to rent this place on her own until she can find somebody else to join the lease. And raised like $5,500 for it. Truly, who donated to this? Like, this is not keeping her off of the street. This is stopping her from having to go find another apartment. She started the series on June 8th, and the lease ends on July 1st. She has like 3 weeks to go find another apartment.
I'd love to take a portion of what has been donated and give it back to the community.
Dude, you should give all the money to the community, whatever the community means in this context, because you don't need that money. And again, this is a personal thing, but it's like, you're an artist. You could have directed people to pre-order things from your shop or something if you really wanted to like use this massive virality to make some money, but instead you went to like e-begging. The language of this GoFundMe is like, you would assume she had terminal cancer. Someone commented, at least it seems like your GoFundMe is going well. I started one a couple months ago for my newborn son's heart surgery, and it's been going less than well. Yeah. Anyway, let's get the roommate's POV.
A sublet I met about a month ago made a 30-part TikTok series about me, and I want to address a few things. I genuinely don't know how any of this is my fault. You started subleasing a few weeks ago. A sublease is temporary by definition, meaning I don't owe you shit.
Yeah. See, I tried to fight for the artist in this equation, but at the end of the day, it's the small-time influencer roommate who is in the right, I fear. Just the act of uploading a 30-part series shitting on your roommate while you're currently living with her really tells you all you need to know about this one.
I have no idea where I'm going to be living 3 weeks from now because my roommate is being a fucking asshole and changed her mind on me when she said that.
Dude, can you imagine being the roommate, like listening to this soliloquy about you on the fire escape while you're like in the bathroom? It could be worse, I guess. Like, she could break out into song over this.
We're shattering the silence, we're rising, defiant, shouting in the quiet, you're not alone.
You know what? I'm not mad. I'm not even sad, because this is not infuriating. It's just embarrassing. I don't know, Emily, maybe move to Bushwick or back to Ohio. Cheaper rent and more people who would be sympathetic to this vibe. That's all I got. With a lot of these, it just boils down to you didn't need to share that on the internet. Completely unnecessary. And by the way, I'm moving to New York City. That's why I have no desk or furniture besides whatever that is. By the time you see this video, I should be in New York. So, you know, if in 4 months you see me on TikTok complaining about roommates or the subway or a grocery store, Just remember, you can't blame me. It's not my fault. It's the brainworms.